bell above the door didn't sound like metal. It sounded familiar. Behind the counter, an old man unfolded a blank receipt. What would you like to start carrying? I offered him the afternoon. She walked away. He waited without touching my hands. You'll sleep tonight. He was right. The next visit cost me my first kiss. Funny, I could still remember leaning forward. I just couldn't remember who smiled first. Weeks later, my childhood fit inside a paper envelope. The smell of summer grass, a bicycle too big for my legs. Someone calling me home before the streetlights woke up. Gone. The silence afterward was incredibly light. People said I looked healthier. They were probably right. My shoulders forgot how to bend beneath invisible weight. My heartbeat stopped, waiting for ghosts. Every transaction made breathing easier. Every receipt made me a stranger. One morning, I saw the day someone changed my life. I kept the calendar date, lost the face somewhere. There was a voice that used to feel like home. Now it sounded like a language I never learned. The room became quieter, colors stopped introducing themselves. Photographs turned into well-framed strangers. Birthdays became ordinary numbers. Certain songs still made my chest ache. I just didn't know why. Eventually, there was only one memory left, the expensive one. Not because it was beautiful, because it was unbearable. The night everything broke, the night someone never came back, the night I discovered that surviving was different from living. I slid it across the counter. The old man didn't reach for it. Instead he asked, without this, who exactly walks out of here? I laughed, or maybe someone else did. When I stepped outside, the air felt weightless. No regrets, no grief, no longing, no names, no before, no after. A woman crossed the street, her eyes filled before mine could. She whispered something that must have mattered once. I answered with perfect honesty, I'm sorry, have we ever met? She closed her eyes like an entire lifetime had just disappeared. I watched her leave without losing anything, because there was nothing left inside me that knew how. I finally stopped hurting. Because I forgot myself. She smiled at jokes nobody had told yet. She carried umbrellas beneath cloudless skies. Sometimes her eyes filled with tears while the room was still laughing. People called it intuition. She stopped correcting them. I knew the exact sound of doors after they closed. Every goodbye grew heavier the longer I carried it. I remembered everything, especially what should have faded. She avoided certain streets, not because they were dangerous, because one day they would become impossible to walk through. I never understood why she hesitated before ordinary afternoons. Our first conversation lasted forever. For her it had already happened. For me it became unforgettable. The second it ended, something unusual followed us. When she looked ahead, I stopped replaying yesterday. When I spoke about yesterday, tomorrow loosened its grip on her shoulders. Between us, clocks finally forgot their jobs. Coffee stayed warm, songs reached their final notes. Sunsets ended without feeling borrowed. The world slowed down just enough for a moment to become a moment. Then one evening, she held my hand a little longer than silence required. Not because she feared losing me, because she already knew the exact shape of losing. She memorized my face the way travelers memorize skylines. Before trains depart, I asked, why do you look at me like it's the last time? She almost answered. Instead, she kissed me with the kind of tenderness people usually save for memories days past, or maybe they didn't. Time behaved differently whenever we were close, until one ordinary morning she watched the sunrise with the calm of someone arriving exactly where goodbye lived. There were no promises, no attempts to rewrite fate, no desperate speeches, only gratitude for a story worth surviving, even when its ending had always existed. After she left, tomorrow became noise again. Yesterday returned like winter. The present went with her. You already knew goodbye and still chose hello. A departure board flickered before the dawn. One suitcase rolled away, another stayed where the echoes lived. Someone laughed near gate 27. Someone almost answered. Nobody noticed. You chose the window seat. I chose the aisle 3 rows behind. The clouds erased the city beneath us, and with it, another version of our names. The red light held the traffic still. You counted raindrops on your sleeve. I watched the crosswalk change without knowing. I had already learned your silhouette. Green arrived, so did another absence. In a museum, we stopped before the very same painting. Hours apart, you wondered who had stood there before you. The warmth left on the wooden floor was all I managed to leave behind. A violinist played beneath the station clock. Coins fell into an open case. A train inhaled. You boarded north, I boarded south. Steel carried both of us towards different memories. We're in the same sky. There was a cafe where every chair remembered strangers. Your fingerprints cooled around porcelain. Mine arrived just after the steam disappeared. The waitress cleared 2 stories without reading either one. Someone filmed the stage instead of dancing. Someone danced instead of looking back. The same chorus shook the stadium lights. Your voice disappeared inside thousands. My answer, one heartbeat too late. Winter folded itself into spring. Spring borrowed the colors of autumn. Cities kept introducing us, using different streets, different weather, different versions of daylight. Every coincidence learned how to become invisible. We shared elevators without sharing destinations. Shared sunsets through opposite windows. Shared silence through crowded rooms. Shared entire years without sharing a single sentence. The world kept placing your shadow inside the corner of my life. Not close enough to become a memory, not far enough to become forgotten. Then one ordinary afternoon, nothing remarkable happened. No orchestra, no fireworks, no dramatic rain. Just 2 people finally walking at the same speed. You smiled as though recognizing someone from a dream that neither of us remember dreaming. And suddenly every airport, every platform, every museum, every traffic light, every cafe, every concert, every missed beginning was never empty. We weren't strangers, we were simply arriving through different versions of time. We kept missing each other with perfect timing. It never arrived with thunder, never with light, never with miracles Only a handful of quiet notes, small enough to disappear the moment anyone else walked into the room. The first time I thought the city itself had started humming in an old station, a newspaper turning in the wind, someone tying the shoelaces nearby. Nothing unusual, except the world had found the key. Years later, the same sound slipped between the shelves of a forgotten bookshop. I searched behind clocks, inside wooden walls, between pages that smelled older than memory. The bookseller looked at me with polite confusion. He heard nothing across town. You stopped walking at exactly the same moment. Your coffee cooled, mine did too. Neither of us finished the sentence we were speaking. The melody never asked to be followed. It simply appeared as though two invisible threads had briefly remembered they belonged to the same fabric. Sometimes it lasted 3 heartbeats, sometimes an entire afternoon, always ending before certainty could catch it. I began collecting places instead of answers. A bridge, a cinema lobby, platform 9 in the corner table beneath the cracked window. I wasn't searching for music anymore. I was searching for whatever made silence change its mind. Meanwhile, somewhere inside another ordinary life, you were drawing maps made entirely of impossible coincidences. Neither of us believed in destiny. We only believed something beautiful kept refusing to become an accident. One autumn evening, the city lost electricity. Windows darkened, traffic disappeared. The sky finally looked old enough to tell the truth. Then, without speakers, without instruments, without anyone beginning the song, the melody returned, not around us, between us. For the first time, I watched your eyes recognize the exact thing mine had been carrying for years. No introductions, no explanations, no questions, only two strangers standing quietly inside a piece of music that had spent an entire lifetime trying to become visible. The final note didn't fade, it breathed, and so did we. Maybe it was never leading us, maybe it was waiting until it finally had both of its listeners. Maybe destiny doesn't speak, maybe it sings. Before gravity, before breath, before anyone belonged to a family, there was only a quiet place where nothing needed a name. No clocks, no language, no distance to measure. Only two lights floating gently through an endless silence, learning what forever felt like without ever counting it. You never asked asked who I was. I never asked who you'd become. Questions hadn't been invented yet. Somewhere between eternity and tomorrow, we stood at the edge of beginning. You reached toward my hand, not to hold it, just to remember its warmth, for a world where remembering would become impossible. Then the sky opened itself, knocked above us, inside us. We became heartbeats, first cries, tiny fingerprints, forgotten lullabies, entire childhoods built from borrowed time. And suddenly the silence that once knew us could no longer say our name. Still something remained, a strange feeling in crowded places, a familiar ache without a memory, the certainty that somewhere someone was missing from an otherwise complete life. Years kept inventing. New cities, new faces, new reasons to keep walking. Yet every beautiful moment felt almost finished, as though one final note hadn't arrived yet. Then, without miracles, without stars rearranging, without destiny asking permission, our eyes met, nothing exploded, the earth kept turning, people continue the conversations. Traffic lights changed color, birds crossed the afternoon. Without noticing, history had quietly corrected itself. You smiled the way home must have smiled before houses existed. For a moment, the world became strangely quiet, not because everything stopped, because everything finally fit. Neither of us remember the place before life. Neither of us remember the silence, the promise, or the lie. But something older than memory recognized, something older than time. Maybe that's why your eyes felt older than time. By the time I noticed her, she had already smiled at something I hadn't said yet. The station breathed through empty tracks, departure boards changed destinations without changing the silence. She looked at me the way people look through old family photographs. You're late. She laughed softly. I almost apologized, then remembered we had never met. She walked beside me without asking permission, avoiding puddles before the rain arrived. A passing cyclist turned the corner, exactly where she stepped aside, as if the afternoon had already happened inside her. Halfway across the platform, she pointed toward an empty bench. Don't sit there. Why? You'll spill your coffee. I stayed standing. A stranger hurried past, bumped my shoulder, and the cup fell exactly where she had been looking. She never celebrated being right, she only looked a little sadder. Days became meetings, meetings became unfinished chapters. She knew my favorite song before I found it. She knew which streets I'd eventually avoid. She knew the stories I hadn't earned the right to tell. Sometimes she answered questions I hadn't asked. Sometimes she became quiet during moments that felt perfectly ordinary, as though she could already hear the echo waiting at the end of the sentence. One evening I asked, "Where do you know me from?" She tilted her head, searching for words that belong to another season. Not yet, nothing else, just those two words placed between us like a key. I wasn't ready to turn. Winter arrived, or perhaps it was only the color of the silence. She began memorizing me with impossible patience. The scar on my wrist, the way I counted steps without noticing. The habit of looking back at closed doors. No one studies a stranger like that, only someone afraid of forgetting. Then, on the last morning, the station was empty again. No announcements, no rushing crowds, only two people standing inside a goodbye that only one of them recognized. She held my face as though she had already survived losing it. I whispered, "Tell me, what are you hiding?" For the first time, she couldn't smile. I never remembered our past. A train entered the platform, slow enough to sound like breathing. I remembered everything we were still going to become. Suddenly every laugh she shared too early, every silence she carried too long, every warning, every look, every impossible certainty found their place. She had never been one step ahead, she had simply already lived. Every tomorrow I was still walking toward the doors open. She kissed me with the gentleness of someone returning a borrowed lifetime. Then she left, and for the first time the future arrived without her. You looked at me like a memory I hadn't lived yet. The workshop never opened with the sunrise. It opened the moment someone chose gentleness over pride inside. Nothing ticked together. Thousands of clocks argued with the same second. Some raced, some hesitated, some waited as though hope itself had forgotten the address. The old man never repaired a single one. He only listened every so often. A clock that had fallen silent would breathe again. He'd smile, write nothing, and turn one tiny gear no bigger than a thumbnail. Who paid? I asked. He looked through the dusty window. A daughter who forgave before the funeral. Another clock found its rhythm. A stranger who stayed to hear the whole story. Then another, a little boy who shared his umbrella was someone he'd never meet again. Knowing voices, no coins, no signatures, only ordinary kindness arriving from places that would never know this room existed. I returned every Tuesday, not because I believed it, because impossible things kept sounding remarkably honest. The shelf slowly taught me that compassion travels farther than footsteps. Somewhere an exhausted nurse sat beside one more patient after her shift had ended. A clock began moving again. Her brother picked up the phone instead of his anger. Someone admitted I was wrong. The room never applauded, it simply kept breathing. Years later, I noticed one clock without a label, unlike the others, arrested in the center of the workshop. Its hands moved only when I entered. Whose is that? The old man didn't answer. He handed me a tiny screwdriver, worn smooth by decades of quiet hands. What do I fix? You don't. He closed the drawer with extraordinary care. You decide how often it moves. I laughed, certain he was joking. Then I asked the question everyone eventually asks: how much time do I have left? He didn't check a calendar, he didn't read a chart, he didn't even look at the clock. Instead, he watched my empty hands as if waiting to see what they might become. That, he whispered, depends on how many minutes you choose to give away. I stepped outside, the city looked unchanged. Cars hurried, people argued, rain gathered along the pavement. An elderly man struggled with his shopping. I almost kept walking, almost, when I reached for one of the bags. Somewhere far beyond my hearing, a forgotten clock began to tick again. Time had found its way back, not through miracles, not through magic, but wearing someone else's kindness. Years later, someone asked what we used to listen to. I opened my mouth and nothing came, not because I'd forgotten, because the songs had never stayed. What stayed was the sound of your jacket brushing mine every time the car turned left. A motorway still sleeping, streetlight sliding slowly across the windscreen. Your shoes on the dashboard, my hand pretending the gear stick was more interesting than yours. First track ended, neither of us noticed. You kept watching the sea through the glass. I kept pretending I wasn't watching you. The silence didn't interrupt the journey, it completed it. There were conversations so small, they never became memories, just unfinished thoughts floating gently between one melody and the next. Questions without urgency, answers without endings, the kind of words that only exist when nobody is trying to be impressive. Sometimes you closed your eyes not to sleep just to hear the waves arrive. Before the speakers did the playlist kept moving. Summer kept disappearing. Our reflections grew older inside every window we passed. I can't remember whether track 7 was a piano or a guitar or nothing at all. But I remember you tracing circles on the back of my hand while the next song searched for its beginning. I remember breathing at exactly the same pace without even reverse trying. I remember how even our quiet felt like it belonged to someone years dissolved. Roads changed names, the car became someone else's. The ocean kept rehearsing the same horizon. One evening I found that old playlist buried inside a forgotten phone. I pressed play expecting to recover us. The first song, nothing. The second, a stranger. The third, I could have sworn I never heard it before. Then, between two tracks, the music stepped aside for 3 weightless seconds. There was only the engine cooling, distant waves, your breathing, and the tiny sound our fingers made, finding each other without looking. Suddenly, every mile returned. Not the lyrics, not the courses, not the melodies, just the spaces where life had quietly happened. That's where we had lived. Our favorite part was never the music. They carved no king, no victory, no famous name above the stone. Only weather, only years, only silence. Learning patience, old streets, pass the story from one generation to the next. A door older than memory. No lock, no handle, no answer. Strong hands came first. Soldiers, pilgrims, dreamers, each one believing determination could outweigh another heartbeat. The doorway never moved. Some blamed the rust, some blamed forgotten magic. Most walked away certain there had never been a door at all. Then one autumn a traveler escaped the rain beneath its shadow. On the other side, someone else did exactly the same. Neither knew the other existed. One rested upon against the cold stone. The other did too. Two strangers, one war, one impossible coincidence. The mountain exhaled, the hinges remembered how to sing. Some dogs never asked who's stronger. They waited for two hearts to trust the same impossible moment. Some dogs never wanted heroes. They wanted partnership. Dust rose like forgotten opening. Neither rush, neither claim the first step. For a moment they stood shoulder to shoulder, listening to a silence that somehow felt welcoming. Beyond the threshold, no treasure, no throne, no answers written in gold. Only a mirror vast enough to hold both reflections without separating either one. They searched for jewels, they found the lives they would have lived alone. One reflection grew tired from carrying every burden. The other grew smaller from never asking for help. The mirror didn't reveal their faces, it revealed their loneliness. They looked at each other for the first time, not as strangers, as the missing strength the other had never known. They needed the door, had never been protecting what was inside. It had been waiting until neither person mistook pride for courage. Some doors never asked who deserved the ending. They waited for two souls to arrive without needing to stand above one another. Some doors never wanted heroes, they wanted partnership. When they stepped back into the city, nothing had changed. The streets were the same, the sky was the same. People hurried past them without noticing that somewhere an ancient door had finally remembered how to open. And from that day, every impossible thing felt just a little less impossible. Because neither of them ever tried to push alone again.
The pavement still carried last night's rain. Neon signs kept rewriting their names. Inside every puddle, neither of us had anywhere we needed to arrive. You walked without hurrying, I matched the rhythm. I didn't know I've been searching for the city. Kept making its ordinary noises. A bus side at the corner, a window closed somewhere above us. Someone laughed behind a cafe door. Nothing miraculous, nothing unusual, except everything felt unexpectedly easy. Easy. Halfway across the bridge, I realized my shoulders had forgotten their old language. For months they had carried conversations that never ended. Deadlines, regrets, names I couldn't forgive. Yet somehow none of them had followed me into this night. You noticed before I did, you looked taller. I laughed, no lighter. We kept walking, the rooftop seemed closer than yesterday. The river moved without urgency. the sleeping city. Its reflection floated across the windows of empty buildings, like a memory looking for somewhere gentle enough to land. We climbed the old fire escape without counting the steps, reached the rooftop, sat with our feet dangling above streets that had forgotten how loud they usually were. For a long while we said almost nothing. The silence didn't ask to be filled, it simply rested between us like a third heartbeat. I couldn't remember the last time our thoughts hadn't been racing towards tomorrow. Tonight they stayed exactly where my footsteps already were. Then came dawn, the glass towers caught the first light. Every window borrowed a little gold. The whole skyline looked as though someone had quietly lifted it with invisible hands. I finally asked, did you feel it too? You smiled without looking at me. I don't think we were floating. The sun climbed slowly above the river. Morning traffic returned, people hurried, phones rang. The city became itself again, yet somehow it no longer pressed against my chest. Maybe the streets had never become lighter. Maybe the weight had always been loneliness. And somewhere between midnight and sunrise, without promises, without explanations, without either of us trying to rescue the other, the city simply stopped weighing us down. Maybe love doesn't make us fly. Maybe it simply makes life lighter. Before we arrived, it was only wood, stone windows, learning the seasons, nothing remarkable. A staircase that sighed every winter, curtains that danced for anyone willing to leave the window open, rooms waiting to become someone's ordinary life. Then we filled it with mornings, coffee cooling on forgotten tables, keys left beside. Half-read books, laughter traveling faster than sunlight through the hallway. We never noticed how walls listen, or how silence keeps copies of everything love forgets to collect. Years unfolded like blankets left on familiar chairs. Arguments arrived, forgiveness usually reached us before bedtime. Some nights words became bridges, some nights they became shelter. You'll be alright. The kitchen heard it. Stay a little longer. The staircase remembered, I'm still here. Even the empty room refused to let those words fall all the way to the floor. Eventually we packed our photographs close closed the final box, locked the front door, walked away in opposite directions, believing the house had become just another address. Years passed, children grew taller inside those rooms, birthdays borrowed the dining table, dogs slept beneath the same window, entire lives arrived, stayed, moved on, yet every so often, when afternoon lights slipped through the curtains just right, someone would pause, certain words seemed to appear without a speaker. You'll be alright. A mother thought she imagined it'd stay a little longer. The son stopped walking upstairs for reasons he couldn't explain. I'm still here. An old man smiled through tears that didn't belong to that particular day. Nobody heard voices, they only felt that the rooms already knew how to comfort them. The house hadn't kept our names, only the shape our kindness had carved into the air that one autumn. Without planning, without calling, without knowing, we both returned to arrive through the garden. I stood beneath the old porch, shoulder hands, quieter hearts, the same front door. For a moment, the afternoon held its breath. The curtains didn't move, the staircase didn't sigh. No forgotten sentence wandered through the rooms. The house had fallen, completely silent. Not because it had forgotten, because everything it had protected for all those years was finally standing inside it once again. Some homes remember love long after people leave. Every night the city waited until I closed my eyes. Only then did the streets remember how to glow. She was always a few corners ahead, never running, never looking back, walking like someone who had already made peace with tomorrow. I learned to recognize the sound of her footsteps before I ever saw her face. She opened a little cafe where strangers forgot to feel lonely. The windows caught the morning light exactly the way I'd imagined for years. I woke before I reached the front door the next night. She was somewhere else, a train crossing mountains I had traced inside notebooks. She laughed at landscapes I had memorized without ever visiting again. I arrived just in time to watch the train leave. Then came the bookstore shelves filled with stories I could almost remember writing. People waited patiently for her signature. Children smiled, holding pages that somehow already felt familiar. I searched every line for my name, it wasn't there. Morning returned, so did the empty room. The same ceiling, the same excuses, the same promise to begin tomorrow. Night after night, she kept living one decision ahead of me. closer. I had imagined, why did every impossible life fit her so naturally? One evening, I finally caught up. The city ended at the edge of the sea. No traffic, no voices, only a cafe still glowing long after closing time. She stood inside, looking out through the window as though she had been expecting me. All along for the first time, she turned. The smile was familiar, not because I'd seen it, because I practiced it 1,000 times without ever having the courage to wear it. You've been stealing my dreams. She shook her head. No. She stepped closer, every shadow fell away, every difference quietly disappeared. You weren't dreaming about me. Her voice sounded exactly like the one inside my head whenever I almost became brave. You were watching the life you kept postponing. The cafe, the books, the journeys, the laughter, the strangers, the impossible woman. None of them had belonged to someone else. I opened my eyes for the first time. Morning didn't feel like waking up. It felt like finally arriving. You weren't stealing my dreams. You were living the life I kept postponing. Will it hurt? A little? Will I remember you? A quiet smile, not an answer. Just enough silence to make forever feel smaller. If everything disappears, it won't. What if I can't find you? You won't. You'll only think you can't. The light around us had no beginning, no horizon, no sky, only two souls standing close enough that words were almost unnecessary. I wish we could stay here. You say that about other places too. Promise me this isn't the end, it isn't. Then why does it feel like goodbye? Because every beginning, where's that feeling for a little while? If tomorrow takes your memories, I'll leave something deeper. Not a name, not a promise, just a feeling that your heart won't know how to explain. Maybe our first goodbye happened before our first hello. Time folded itself into breath. Suddenly there were seasons, birthdays, rain on windows, parents calling us home, cities learning our footsteps. footsteps, entire lives growing around one forgotten conversation. I searched without knowing what I had lost. Every crowded room fell one person short. Every beautiful day ended with the strange certainty that someone had almost been there. Sometimes a stranger would laugh and my heart would pause for reasons my mind could never explain. If tomorrow takes your memory, I'll leave something deeper. Not a face, not a story, only a quiet certainty that somewhere in this enormous world, home still walking toward you. Maybe our first goodbye happened before our first hello. Years continued without permission. Then one ordinary morning, a station filled with people moving too quickly to notice history, holding its breath. The train arrived, doors open, the crowd flowed like a river. Someone brushed against my shoulder. You, neither of us stopped, neither of us remembered the place without clocks, the light, the conversation, the promise. You turned for half a second, smile without knowing why, and suddenly my heart recognized a voice my memory had forgotten. That was never our goodbye. That was the very first hello. The sea never asked where the moon had been. It only knew that every evening its own heartbeat rose whenever her light touched the tide. No promises had ever been spoken, no vows had crossed the sky. Still, every wave arrived with the quiet certainty of someone who trusted what couldn't be held. And one night the horizon forgot how to glow. Clouds closed like gold theater curtains. The cliffs waited, the gulls fell silent. Only the water kept moving, searching for a face hidden somewhere beyond the dark. One night became a season, borrowed the shape of years. The shoreline whispered, she's gone. The wind suggested forgetting. Even the stars looked away, as though pity could soften an absence. But the sea never stopped lifting its hands toward the sky. Not because it expected a miracle, because faith had already become its nature. There were evenings when the darkness felt endless, yet every wave still remembered the rhythm. She had taught it slowly. Something changed. The sea began noticing the lanterns of distant boats, the silver line left by dawn, the laughter of children running along forgotten beats. I still hear the waves not calling your name, simply dancing. Because once you showed them how, even without the moon, the sea still remembered how to dance. Monday morning, a silver key without a name. By lunchtime, it opened the right front door. Tuesday, a wedding ring, scratched, bent, still carrying the shape of someone's promise. An old couple left smiling, holding hands a little tighter than before. Wednesday, a photograph curled at the corners. No address, no signature, only sunlight caught forever inside. Fading colors, a daughter cried before she even looked at it. Some memories recognize us before we recognize them. People said he had a gift, wallets, letters, children's drawings, passport covers worn soft by airports, pocket watches that had stopped on ordinary afternoons. If it had ever belonged to someone, he would find the way home. No newspaper ever wrote his name, no statue would remember his face. He preferred it that way. The shelves grew taller every season, each object waiting only long enough to be missed before becoming someone's relief. Then one evening, while the rain folded itself against the windows, I noticed a small wooden box on the highest shelf. No dust, no lock, only one label written with extraordinary care. Time empty. Who forgot that? He smiled, not sadly, just honestly. No one. Then why keep the box in case someone believes it can be returned? Silence sat between us like another customer. I thought about birthdays I had rushed through, conversations ended too soon. Journeys I postponed until the map forgot my name. The faces I promised I'd visit next month, the songs I never learned, the mornings I hurried without noticing they would never exist again. I've wasted so much. He shook his head. No. His fingers rested gently on the empty box, as though even absence deserved kindness. You only lose what never becomes part of you. Outside, the rain finally stopped. People hurried home, arms full of groceries, flowers, ordinary Tuesdays. For the first time, nothing about them looked ordinary. I understood why the box would always remain empty. Yesterday hadn't been stolen, it hadn't fallen between cushions, it hadn't been misplaced on the train. Every hour I thought I lost was already living quietly inside the person who had walked me to this very moment.
everything finds its owner, except yesterday.